Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and today we are playing some 25 on Unibet as we continue our tour around the sites. This is one of the benefits of having your bankroll spread over many sites, is that you have lots of different options open to you. My main sites that I have money on are PokerStars, Triple Eight, Sky and Unibet for the most part. And my role is kind of spread between them, and as we talked about in the past, the rest of it's kept in bank accounts and e-wallets. So I tend to just have maybe 10 to 15 buy-ins on across 4 or 5 sites and then go from there. So that's what allows me to have the option of playing on many different sites. I know it's something that you guys just tend to pick one site and play on one site and have all your bankroll there. I don't think that's necessary. Even if you are just on one site, you don't need to have all of your bankroll on it. If you're operating like a 30 buy-in or 40 buy-in bankroll management strategy, you don't need 40 buy-ins on the site. Perhaps just have 15, 20 buy-ins on the site and keep the rest of the money elsewhere. But that's a by the by. That's not really what we want to talk about today. It was just an example of, so when I'm reloading and you see that we only have like €400 on the site, don't think I'm playing off like such like ludicrous bankroll management strategy. I just know it's something people look at. It's been commented on before, so I'm clearing it up before I have to answer questions about it. So, anyways, this week I've been watching a ton of the live streams Poker After Dark cash games. Possibly it's been like the best cash game ever on TV in terms of like the overall ability of all the players. There's been no marks. There's been no fish in the games. The lineup's been Jungle Man, Doug Polk, Matt Berkey, Jason Kuhn, Ike Axton and Brian Rast. Some complete high stakes monsters, both online and live. And I've been watching very carefully, trying to notice things that I could maybe try and bring into my game. And then we're going to try some of the things that I've noticed today. We're going to try them in the video and just see how they work, see what's good, see what isn't good. Two of the things we're going to bring in that you're going to see most often is smaller raise sizes pre-flop. I'm either going to be min-raising or raising to 60 cents. And I'm going to do that at different tables at different times, kind of just to not give it away. I don't want to be like always min-raising or always 60xing, because we're playing with different aliases at each table. So I don't want to look like I'm the same player across 4 tables. The whole point of playing with 4 different aliases is to try and confuse the regulars and not let other regulars know that you're a regular. So we're going to be mixing it up between 50 and 60 across tables, across positions. So it's not really going to be much rhyme or reason to it other than just not trying to be too obvious with the same player at all 4 tables. And the second thing we're going to be trying, actually more than that. The second thing we're going to be trying is limping at pretty much close to 100% in the small blind when it's folded to us rather than opening. I saw a hell of a lot this week. Limping the small blind just seemed to be the done thing. It's just what they were all doing just about. Rarely did you see a small blind open. So we're going to try doing that. We're going to maybe discuss the merits of that and certainly welcome feedback on that. Discuss the merits of it and discuss the downsides of it. Obviously the downsides will be you just don't pick up the blinds pre-flop very often. The upsides are you can develop limp re-raising ranges to keep people off balance. You can pretty much guarantee yourself to see a flop with all your implied odds hands, that sort of hands that sometimes you raise and then face a 3-bet, kind of puts you in a tough spot. That doesn't happen. The worst thing that can happen is you get isolated to say a 4x or something, therefore guaranteeing you see your flop. So there are upsides to it. There's obviously going to be downsides too, but we're not going to pick up the blinds very often pre-flop, or not. We're never going to pick up the blinds pre-flop, but I'm open to discussion on that. I think it's interesting. I quite like seeing pros doing it because I quite like the idea of it. If it's good enough for the pros, it's good enough for me to at least experiment with. And we're also going to be playing like wider, or trying to play wider ranges from all positions and defend from the blinds wider than I typically do. It's something I saw those guys doing a lot of. Now I know they're playing in a game that isn't raked, so that will have an effect at the micro stakes that they don't have an effect in their games. Rake is like no effect in their game. It has a big effect in these games, so it might be that we have to like maybe be a little bit tighter, but overall we are going to try and play a few more hands both in and out of position and just try and get to post flop more often. We're not going to be doing a ton of 3-betting. They weren't doing tons the 2 streams I've seen. Going to keep calling versus min bets, just try and make a pair. We could even got a good shot straight draw here now. We do not make the straight. So we're not going to be doing as much 3-betting. It's going to be mostly pretty stuff, not too many like just flat out bluffs, but we're going to be doing a lot of calling, or a lot more calling than you would typically see me doing. And try and make it more about the post flop. This is what these guys seem to be doing. Now I know they were much deeper, so pre-flop matters much less when you're deep. When you start playing 300 blinds deep, pre-flop barely matters at all in terms of like the hands you get to the flop with and the hands that you can play. You can pretty much you can play a lot wider ranges when you're deep, of course, than you can when you're not as deep. But we're still going to try and play a lot more hands than usual. Try and get a lot more post flop spots and just try and utilise what I hope will be a decent advantage that I have post flop versus many players. So you're going to see a few things here that maybe you're not used to seeing from me, and maybe in general you think that's not good. But that's the whole point. We're hopefully going to raise some talking points. Some of the stuff you'll see and you think that's flat out bad, and maybe it is. When we experiment with new things, we do end up doing some things that are just flat out bad. But if we never change what we do, then we're never really going to stay ahead of the curve, are we? It's nice to experiment from time to time. So he min donks or min leads, min donks and calls. 6 is not a good barrel card, so we're just going to try and hit our straight here or our king. And we do not. And I think we're just going to give up against this type of player. We're not going to try and bluff. And if he just turns up with like a 7 or something, still don't think he's going to fold a 7 very often. Then we are ahead of some of his draws, I guess. Probably going to lose this pot a lot when we check back, but I don't think bluffing's going to be too great against this player type. No, it probably would have worked with that hand, exact hand that he had. If you can hear a commotion in the background, it's the cat. She's deciding to have her mad half hour. It's the second time this guy's made a small 3-bet. Nothing much we can do with a king queen except call and see what happens post flop. Yeah, that's just not a good flop for us. Trivial fold. So we're seeing flops with a lot more hands and just check folding a lot more. Just giving up with our complete air. Not worrying too much about fighting hard for pots when we don't have much, but hopefully looking to use equity to be aggressive in more spots post flop. That's hopefully what's going to happen. This is a 4x open here. I think we're just going to let the ace-jack go from the small blind until we learn more about our opponent. The same goes here. This guy looks like he's been limping a lot also in his 4x state. So we're going to respect that at first. We're looking to like kind of seem like the guys that were playing on Poker After Dark were certainly adopting like a small ball pre-flop strategy. And just looking to see flops for like small raises a lot of the time with a lot of the range. Of course, they were 3-betting each other like with decent enough frequencies, but they certainly seem like pretty apt to just call small raises with wide ranges too. They seem to be like mixing, calling, and 3-betting. It was kind of I couldn't really figure out what their motives for like 3-betting versus just overcalling were. But we're looking like a relatively small sample size, so it's kind of hard to get too much of a handle on it. But it was very interesting. It certainly gave me lots of ideas and lots of thoughts on how I can try and implement some of the strategies into my game, and hopefully make me a better, more rounded player. Second turn, this guy's 4x'd it. And we get called twice with the king. Then we can just check fold here. Unless we face a very small bet. Yeah, we would have just owned ourselves there with the pre-flop river block. Sorry, river block bet. What the fuck? Pre-flop? What the fuck am I talking about? The reason we're not 3-betting here, which I think is a very good hand to 3-bet with, is because of the two guys in the blinds here. Cora and Swain both seem pretty fishy to me. If he bets that small, I do not expect to have a strong hand at all. But we don't want to make Svine fold, so we're just going to call this small bet. Hopefully Svine comes along and we can start blowing the pot on the turn. If he doesn't, then never mind. I expect Gisu to check a decent amount here when he gets called in 2 spots, if he doesn't have like a super strong hand. Interesting if he raises here. Do we put a re-raise in or do we just call again? I think we just call again. We could be behind. There's ways we could be behind to Gisu. There's not many because we block like top set and second set really hard. Not too worried about the 10. I don't think he has King Queen ever and plays it this way. Don't think he has pocket 10s and plays it this way. So the 10 looks like a brick to me. I think we're just going to call this river though, because I don't see him calling with worse if we jam. And there's actually, it feels like we should be beat a decent amount of the time he given the line he's taken, the sizing he's taken. And he does have the set of 4s, which is pretty much a cooler. Not much we can do about that. Very interesting that he chose like a tiny flop c-bet size there. We'll be looking to try and exploit that in future pots when he uses a larger flop c-bet size. Maybe look at raising him and putting pressure on them. Normally I would overbet this turn on table 1 versus 1 opponent, given that we picked up the flush draw as well. But given we got 2 callers, I think our fold equity is significantly reduced. So we're just going to take our free card. And miss. And we're just giving up in a multi-way pot. And we win. Did not expect to win that too often. Pretty miserable flop, but we're not going to fold the king jack for a 2 big blind donk bet. Backdoor flush draw, 2 over cards. Certainly worth seeing a turn with. So he's barrels here. We just don't believe him very much. He's not going to want to bet an 8 very often. If he is betting an 8, then we're going to bet about play him a lot by raising. So we're going to actually raise here. If he 3 bets, obviously it's just like it's a super trivial fold. A lot of the time he's just going to be like betting draws. Maybe he's just still trying to control the pot with his 8x and stuff. The queen shouldn't hit him too hard there. From a value perspective, he doesn't have too much value when he like leads that turn as well. He doesn't have too many strong hands you wouldn't have thought. Not the best of runnouts to empty the clip on table 2, so I think we're going to give up at this point. And we win again. And we don't really expect to. By the way, if you haven't got Poker Go and you've heard all the criticism about it, if $10 a month doesn't mean much to you, I would strongly recommend getting it. It's got tons of archive content. It's got some nice documentaries on there, albeit quite short ones. And they're showing lots and lots of live poker over the coming. I think they got over 100 days live poker per year, which is something that, in my opinion, deserves support. It definitely deserves support for what they're doing. They got off to a rocky start. I think they've taken the criticism on board, and I think they've improved a lot. And yeah, if you're a bit wary of it, I'd say give it a go. It's $10 a month. How bad can it be? What's the worst case scenario? What's the worst downside? Downside is you spend $10 and think that was a fucking waste of money, but it's just $10. Wow, this guy loves his tiny 3 bets. I would defend the 6-3 if he had a bigger stack size, but he doesn't, so we're not going to. And certainly not folding, having made a pair. That ace is unpleasant. A stab here with the 2 8s. If you do have the best hand, could use some protection. Need less protection now against flush draws and things. We're going to just check back the turn and maybe either try and pick up a bluff on the river or consider value betting. We're not going to consider value betting the king though. If it checks to us, I think it'd be too thin. So what check calls this flop? Checks the turn and then wants to bet this river. Then we have to call here, I think. Interesting. Not much more to say about that other than interesting. Do not want to get check raised by a draw here on table 1, so we're going to check back. And we're just going to fold on this board to this bit. Small 4-bet with the kings on table 3. And we get a not pleasant flop. If I think of flops that I don't want to see when I 4-bet with kings, the Jack 10 ace would be pretty high up the list of flops I don't want to see. Gonna make a very disciplined fold there. I don't really see what bluffs he has there, unless he just has some like complete airball after making like a pretty poor float pre-flop. If he's got queens, he's just going to keep checking. If he's got pocket jacks, he's got a boat. Pocket tens, he's got a boat. ACS trips. Don't see many natural bluffs there, so it's annoying to have to make that fold. Very annoying. I'm not going to lie, but what can we do? We can't just call turn fold, but that seems shit. If we hit our straight, it's another boat he can have. All in all, didn't like it. King, no good. Table 1. We haven't had too many chances to open limp the small blind yet, have we? Which maybe isn't a bad thing. It gives us a thought that we could be in like a pretty good games where there's lots of activity, not too much folding. I don't see much value in betting this river with the king. This 1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1 guy is definitely a spot. I'm aware that he's at least 2 tabling, but I still think he's a spot. Some backdoors with his 10-7. Dry board, it's kind of tempting to lead out sometimes, but given chorus stack size, don't know much about them. We'll check. If it checks through, we'll probably lead out the turn. King Jack. This guy just keeps opening, which is kind of a problem given his stack size. Don't really want to 3-bet him. Obviously, it means you have to stack off pre-flop with King Jack suited, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world against this player, but I don't think it'd be the best either. We c-bets here, we're just going to jam on him. Lots of ways we can get caught by worse hands, and obviously super wet board. Report to the rail. Report to the rail, sir. Reload. Chips, please. Seat open, table 1. This isn't the same guy, is it? This person's changed, I think, from the guy who was 3-betting earlier. Ace, Queen suited. Could be a call, could be a called 4-bet, but given it's been early position and middle position, I'm going to make a super nitty fold. Looks like we got out at the right time on table 1. Fold the pocket 8 on the Queen 9x. Not c-betting 10 jack. We have a gut shot, but again, stack size this guy implies he's probably a recreational player. This board hits his range relatively hard. What the fuck is going on here? We can't fold our gut shot at this point, given the min bet and the min 3-bet. Sorry, the min bet and the min raise. Kind of going to suck if this guy fucking pumps it up again, and we just committed 50 cents to the abyss, but the chance I'm prepared to tell. Wow, he's clicking it back again. I'm just out of here because this is just getting silly. Oh no, we can't be out of here. Don't keep doing it to me, guys. Do not keep fucking doing it. Don't make it 125 now. He didn't. Now we pick up the double gut shot. This is the weirdest hand I've played for a while. And then we completely break it off. Literally, I'm not going to try and bluff in this weird spot. I mean, this looks like he's just crying out to be bluff raised, but fuck knows what Sunshine Boy's up to. If it was heads up, I would absolutely just raise that and just expect to win a huge amount of the time. Nine, 5 and aces. Interesting. Interesting. Poker's dead. Apparently. Could limp re-raise here. Could just call. Not folding, that's for sure. Let's see how he responds to a limp re-raise. Flop, top pair. Seems like not the worst start. We could easily be value owning ourselves here, but our hand could probably still use some protection. I'm going to just bet fold here and feel really sick about it. I mean, now we just obviously jam the river and hope he hasn't like cooled us by flopping a flush. Wow. That call seems pretty ambitious. Not sure what to say about that. But I do want to make a note about it. I think that requires special attention. So what was that, about 28 minutes in, was it? That's all we need to do, in case we can't find it again. Yeah, that was interesting. Really not sure what he was thinking there. Maybe we'll go back and look at it at the end. I was going to pop the turn. Cora's beat me to the punch. Plan was definitely pop the turn there with that gut shot and the potential scare card, but he's beat us to the punch, and there's not much we can do. I'm not going to call that size break with just a gut shot. Planning on double barreling here, unless we get raised on table one. Probably going to play for another 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes. I have a session with a player I've been working with in about 50 minutes, and I'm hungry, so I intend to pop to my local bun shop, for want of a better way of putting it, and treat myself to a spicy sausage sandwich, and maybe, just maybe, a chocolate muffin. I think ASI is going to be good, a decent amount here against Cora. No reason to bet. We chop it. So it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. What is my next challenge? Have a full house using at least one of your hole cards. I can do that. I can make full houses. Gizu there showing a love of the... Was it Gizu? Or I got mixed up. Anyway, whoever this player was. Maybe that's a new player now. Showing a love of the pre-flop action buttons. Given this guy opened 6-2 suited to 4x or whatever it was, Ace King's obviously a slam dunk 3-bet. Seems like a good flop with the 8-7. Obviously I don't love the ace, but I don't think he loves it either by the look of things. See much value in raising here on the river on this board texture. Seems like it's going to be really hard to get called by a worse hand. That would have been one of them that possibly could have called. And we could certainly have got all the money in on the flop. That's a little bit disappointing, but never mind. Not getting great implied odds here with the 2-8s, but if we go multi-way, it slightly improves our implied odds. And we might just have the best hand. Problem is on boards like this, if he like bets really big, kind of puts in marginal spot. I'm going to bet here, probably call it off, I guess. Maybe not against Ladybug, but against Cora. I'm not calling a 3-bet position with King Jack offsuit. I don't think his jamming range is going to be great for our pocket 8s, but if he's ever spewing with just 2 over cards, and then we have obviously a really good chance of winning the pot. And if he does turn up with the over pair, then we have 6 outs. We'll have it better than 6 hours before. Sorry, have it less than 6 hours before. Get flatted on the ace queen ace board. Not going to double barrel an offsuit 3. Let me just have to call with the kings, and we beat pocket 3s. Now that's a flop on table 1. Need to put a raise in at some point so we can jam the river, so let's do it now. One thing for sure, limping small blinds, opening more hands, it makes poker a lot more fun. I made like a little mini series not so long back saying poker is boring. It's much less boring when you're just playing a few more hands, raising smaller, limping small blinds, etc. Yeah, it's definitely more fun. Interesting line with the ace king there. And we got called in, well, I thought we got called in 2 spots, we didn't, we only got called in 1. We'll go for it all here against 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And we don't get it all. We do not get it all, which is unfortunate. That is a good flop theoretically, but given we have like an SPR of 1 versus this character here, I'm not sure whether we should but I'm not that into seabed bluffing in multi-way pots, so I think we're just going to give up. Don't like folding such a small bet, but we're going to. Man, I'm getting hungry. I'm getting hungry. Maybe we're just going to stick with a 45-minute video and go and get some food because I'm getting hunger pains and I don't need them. Don't need hunger pains in my life. So I think we'll sit out next hand at all tables. I would leave, but then it just makes the end screen look messy, so we'll just sit them all out. So yeah, I do hope you guys have enjoyed this little look at Unibet. Who knows where the next video is coming from? Could be anywhere. Could be any one of 4 sites, any one of numerous different levels. Kind of like having that variety to the channel. I like having that variety in my poker life. I like having the options. When one site's pissing you off, you've got options to go to others, which I think actually helps mental game. It's nice just sometimes to have a change of scenery when you've been having a bad run on one site. Either be it through running bad, playing bad, just getting fed up, whatever. It's nice just to have other sites to go to and then just a change of scenery, change as good as the rest, as they say. I do play poker every day, so I get sick sometimes of looking at the same players every day, the same screens, the same everything. It's nice just to move it around, and I think it helps keep me on my toes as a player too. If I'm constantly playing at different sites, different styles, adopting different styles of play for different sites, because clearly playing the same way at 25NL Zoom as we do at like 30NL regular tables on Sky, it wouldn't be optimal. So I think it helps keep me well-rounded as a player and doesn't let me get sort of like stuck in one style of play. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Any comments whatsoever, any comments or questions about any of the hands we've played, please do leave them below, and please do hit the like button if you got this far. I'm presuming you've enjoyed the video, so please don't forget to hit the like button. I'm working the next couple of days, so we might not have a video for a couple of days after this if you're watching this on the day it's been uploaded. But we'll be back with another video pretty soon, so take care and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.